Well, it's been a while since I've recorded any videos, but got a new project. Haven't gotten much further on my other projects, but this one's actually at my house instead of at my shop. I don't get to my shop very often anymore, so I'll turn it around and show you. I got rid of my short bed and missed it. I've been looking for a bump side ever since, and I've been looking at this one for a while now, and it wasn't for sale. It was at a local shop. I never really talked to the guy. I just heard he wasn't going to sell it, or he wasn't going to sell it for a price that was reasonable in my mind. It's a 70. It's a F100 long bed. There's some of the old signage. It's on the other side too. That's really cool. Some of the patina is really neat. If you're into that, and I gotta be. Kind of learn to embrace it whenever you can't afford to paint things. But yeah, it's going from patina to almost rust, but there's some rust out. But it ain't bad. I've had worse. Corners of the fenders, corners of the doors. Cab corners, not too awful bad. They're kind of blown out back there. But I haven't even looked into the engine. I've cracked it, but it wasn't mine, and it was very stiff, and I didn't want to break anything. But from what I hear, they've said that guy was kind of a handyman, so he's got a block heater. Supposedly, there's a thing under there where, like a converter that you can, or an inverter that you can plug in power tools, 110 stuff, and he's got a bunch of old man stuff on it, tack thing that sets the throttle. So they said there's a bunch of horns under there too. Definitely the worst side. The fender's kind of rotten and pretty bad. Door's worse on this side. Must have been the side towards the weather more. But the bed's pretty good, honestly. The outside, this has got a ding in it. It's rolled up. But, you know, the bed's, it's far from perfect, but I've worked with worse. Bed rotted out, typical places. Honestly, I'm gonna say a little bit better than my short bed was. There was a spot that was very cavey in it, a couple different spots. So whenever I looked at this and bought it, it was full of boxes back here. I haven't gotten to these toolboxes either because, again, wasn't mine. I pushed a button, didn't pop up. Here's a bunch of old stickers for different politicians, I guess, over the years. And then they said this vise slid down in this pipe, and he'd work off the back of this. So that's been pretty solid. I wish I would have got the vise, but no such luck there. I'm guessing that's how that got chipped up. It's a custom, but interior is, I mean, it just needs cleaned up bad. It looks like it hasn't been touched much at all. Starter fluid. That's not a good sign. It's a 302.3 on the tree. I'm gonna just try and get it running. Black door panels. I mean, they're just metal, but I didn't notice that before. Missing an armrest. Again, I have not looked at this nearly at all. Shotgun shell. Looks like maybe a set of points. Maybe a couple sets of points. Just old stuff like he walked away from it. There's some kind of an auxiliary speaker there on the dash. There's a little bullet tack. I'll get it on the other side, but yeah, it's there's a headlight bezel. So it's right there. I don't know how broke it is. There's a distributor cap. And so I'm guessing he was trying to keep it running. But there's all four of the hubcaps. Some dinged. Probably got some gum out here. No, it doesn't say. Looks like a gum out bottle though. To me, got the original radio. No AC. That's nothing new for me. Gun rack. I wish we could put guns in them again. I think that's neat. Headliner's sagging really bad, but it's just cardboard. Yeah, it got wood trim. That's fancy. That had to cost a little bit extra. Terry on the glove box. That's the first I noticed that. Had some kind of pinstriper get after it. at some point in time. Got the original mat in it. There is rust. I can see the floorboards just pretty much giving away right there. That to be expected. Old seating, as bad as I thought it was. I mean, it ain't great, but usually they look like a dog chewed them up. Tons of stuff back here. I might have fun digging through this. I'm sure the fuel tank's rusted out. You've got a, looks like a toolbox sitting on top of it. Some gaskets that are moldy. They had some exhaust gaskets laying here, so maybe he's having exhaust leaks too. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. Looks like some more stickers that maybe he never got around to putting on. Anyways, there's plenty of stuff. I'm gonna squirt some WD-40 on some stuff, get it loosened up, and I'm gonna open the hood up here in a minute. Okay, well, I've lubed up the hinges and the latch. The latch it opened just fine. I've sprayed it on the doors and everything else. Slowly work this thing up. I don't think these bend in half like other ones do, but I'd rather not kink a hood hinge if I can help it. And I mean, nobody sprayed anything on it. I can't believe that nobody has, but because the last guy was working on it. There we go. That came up pretty easy. So still got a battery in it. A long time gone. This, I think it says it was last, the plate says 94, 96, 94. So I wasn't even in high school yet. I was in junior high. Barely in junior high. Very crusty. Somebody took the plugs out of all of it, which is, well, probably not a good sign since they've been sitting for a long time. That's a lot of moisture that can get in there. I guess I'll soak them down with WD-40 and somebody might have already been doing that and gave up. But most part intact, you know. It's just very grubby. There's all the horns. Literally, they weren't lying. Air horn, that's like a ooga or siren. There's an air there. Air pump. Another horn. Guy liked his horns. Stock jack's missing, but it's probably in the way of a horn. This one's not sure what we got here. This is something was cable actuated. Looks like a non-power steering, manual brakes. I'm okay with that because power steering on these things always seem to leak, and I'm not smart enough to figure out how to keep them from leaking. Got it's stock radiator and a shroud, which is pretty awesome. I mean, a lot of this stuff's intact. It's here, you know. I know what it's supposed to be like, and I can clean it up, you know, fix it up. This is cracked, but it's here. You know, where are you gonna find one of these and know that it fits? And I'm not buying repop stuff if I can help it. Yeah, the engine don't feel very good. And maybe the guy who I bought it from was laughing at me about saying it was gonna get it running if it's that locked up. Yeah, somebody's been into the carburetor at some point. This is loose, but it looks like it's been a while. Looks like somebody, yeah, look at this. That is rust. This is the only thing this is the rubber gasket. Oh yeah, that's not a good sign either. And the carburetor's wide open. Maybe I should have looked in it a little closer. Got to see how bad it gets. Yeah, very wet. Was it somewhere, some point, probably just outside. Ever since I've known it, it's been outside. I think they bought it from a story I heard was they bought it from a auction, and then the guy, it sat out a guy who owned the shops, and he didn't do anything with it really. And then I think he got sick and he sold it to this guy, and this guy didn't have it very long. I inquired and it was for sale. Got oil, and it don't look like water. Yeah, it smells like oil. This thing looks tired. I'm sure it is. I have no doubt that if I do get it running, it will, you know, won't be nothing spectacular. A little rot here. which I've never had to deal with before. I've been very lucky with my other truck, and it was solid in these places. I've looked a little bit at the cab mounts, and they don't look pretty, but they are there. Looks like somebody bolstered one on the passenger side a little bit, but I don't think they've collapsed yet. They're probably very close to doing that, but that's the old windshield washer pump. But pretty bare bones. It's a 3 on the tree, 302. Every one I've had of these has been an FE engine, and I kind of am a small block guy, and I always think I'm going to put a small block in them, but I've always had the FEs run too good to make it worth my while to take it out. I'm glad it's getting cold, because a lot of wasp nests that have been abandoned. Maybe they've been abandoned for years, but it's probably just tip of the iceberg. There's probably a lot more under the fenders. Yeah, but there's somebody took those out. Whatever this is all gonna get disconnected before I try to put a new battery in it. But literally house wiring. You know, it all goes into here. Yeah, all this wiring goes into there. There were stickers. No, that's tape. Pulled it together. There might have been stickers, but they're long gone. I don't see any other boxes. I don't know that that's an inverter with just that little bit of, you know, box of stuff. But I guess I could always take it off, crack it open. And to me, it just looks like a wall socket that somebody's ran something to. Kind of neat that it's here. Here's his block heater. And it runs down. Oh, there's something here. Oh, I think that's smog. No? I don't know what that is. Goes into the, oh, that might be the heater. Is that what that is? An inline heater? Yeah, that's what that is. Won't be plugging that in either. But that's pretty slick. That's better than the freeze plug one. Not dry as a bone, but close enough. Main goal for this is to get it running, get it driving. The brakes are locked up. I think I probably got my work cut out for me. But I'm going to go ahead and squirt some WD-40 in these holes, since they're these spark plug holes, since they're open already. This post has been beat on, and they're junk anyways. Little bitty wires, both of them. I mean, this one's short. That's just a positive. The negative's really sad, especially for all the electrical stuff he was, horn and everything he had on it. Not a whole lot of ground. You got the original horns. Horn. Ooh. Look at that. Well, I mean, that is a baffle. It ain't just completely plugged, but she's gummy right there. Now that's where you put the stuff, and that's kind of where the condensation mixes with the oil, makes for gook, but easy to do or not. I don't think I have a 15/16. Oh, that don't look good. I don't think that crank's moving, and it might not. Again, it's a whole lot of time sitting to open the elements. Well, first off, that's not a 1/2 inch to begin with, and again, am I really going to be able to turn that? Yeah, that's more like a 3/8. I guess I could break. I guess I'm gonna. Let me try to break it off first. I'll be darned if this thing doesn't spin fairly easily too. See? All right, that's what I get for assuming. Who would have thought that would come off? I'll loosen that. I'll go to the next one, and then I'm gonna take these vice grips, open them up, and it is loose though, so that's coming off. I mean, I guess I could have just clipped the wires and dragged the thing out since the wires aren't any good anyways. Guess where I got good wires at? Sitting Bunker Hill. Cheaper and easier, just go to the parts store and get new. There you go, that one's coming off too. Battery box doesn't look too awful bad. I mean, I wish these had dates on them. Oh, they might, hold on. It hasn't, so see, they punched there. June, July, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Okay. How many years is that? So almost 30 years.